will start the session, and once again saying the Heartsutra mantra together several times, and same purpose. And the main purpose will be the bringing our mind back to the place with the body and to raise the awareness. So we'll say the Heartsutra mantra together several times. what I'll do, I'll read a little bit because still we are fresh. Then when you start to get sleepy, then we'll have a question and answer. So first I will go a little bit further. Now this time what I'd like to do, I want you to look at your Heart-Sutra. We'll look at entire sutra, Heart-Sutra. We'll look at entire the sutra. What I'll do, I will say from here to here, these paragraphs are part of this, this subject, or what Buddha is explaining this. And from here to here, what is that? So I'll now if you look at your Heart-Sutra, I think it might be the same. It might be the same. The first two paragraphs. It might be the same in German. First two paragraphs. Paragraph starting the sutra, saying, "Thus did I hear at one time." That paragraph in English, it ends saying, "Phenomena called profound perception." That paragraph. And the next paragraph, which in English it's starting saying, "Also at that time," and that paragraph ends saying, "Also as empty of inherent nature." Inherent nature. So these two paragraphs are like explaining the background of the sutra. Or in English, sometimes it is called what's called the prologue. Prologue, or prologue. Yeah. So those are the first two paragraphs. Then the main body of the sutra start from the third paragraph. The paragraph will start from saying, "Then through the power of the Buddha," from there, then you have to turn your page. If you turn it, end of the mantra, Tayata Gadikata Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisoha. End of that mantra is the main body of the sutra. From the third paragraph to end of the mantra is the main body of the sutra. Okay? Then remaining in English here, three paragraphs. Paragraph which starts saying Shariputra, then at the end, last paragraph saying that spoken by the Bhagavan. The end of that, it is like the conclusion, or in English it is said anyway, it's like the conclusion. So look at the sutra, entire sutra first in these three sort of the sections. The background or the prologue, and the main body of the sutra, then the conclusion. Look at that way. Now, start from the first paragraph. The first paragraph in English it goes like this: "Thus did I hear at one time the Bhagavan was dwelling on the Mass Virtuous Mountain in Rajgir, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas." So up to that, here one of the half line. And here what's happening is the giving the background of the sutra, in the sense of to whom this sutra is taught by the Buddha, where he taught, and also what's called the main person to whom this sutra was taught. Now this one, the first line, "Thus did I hear at once, at one time." This line is very, very common. Actually, every single sutras have this line, the first line. "Thus did I hear at one time? Did I hear at one time? What that tells us? That tells us actually the sutra itself is put together from the followers from the followers, the hearing from the Buddha. Not put together by the Buddha like these days that people write books, write the teachings, not in that fashion. Followers heard from the Buddha, and then later they say, oh, such a time, Buddha said this. So that tells us the saying the sutra is put together after Buddha taught the sutra. So this is a very, very, almost, it is, almost every single, even this very short sutra. This first line is there, and that's what here. Now this is very interesting. Usually, this person who said this, thus did I hear at one time. That, I hear at one time. That I refers to, usually, most of the sutra, it refers to Ananda, Buddha's cousin, and Buddha's attendants. After Buddha attained enlightenment, until he attained enlightenment, there was no attendance. He was wandering by himself. And after he attained enlightenment, even for almost 12, 13 years, there was no attendance. But then later, when he get a little bit older and he get more and more followers, then he asked to his cousin Ananda. Ananda was his cousin, and asked him to be his attendant. Then Ananda says, yes, I'm very happy to be your attendant, but there are some, things you have to agree my request. Saying that one of the important requests, this is very, very helpful for us. Ananda said, you will never ask me, to eat the things which offer to you. The Buddha's followers offer to Buddha. Ananda said, you will never ask me to eat something to offer to you, and ask me to eat. And that's the reason why he doesn't want, that's not best way to live. The right way to live. Because things are offered to the Buddha, but if Buddha asks Ananda to eat, he doesn't want that. That's not the right way to do. And also he said, you will never give me your clothes. Because traditionally, the monks are offered by the followers the robes. And some of you may know, some of you may not know. If you go to the Theravadan monasteries, particularly those such as Vasa, the Buddha's enlightenment day, those important days, the followers, what they offer to the monks full sets of robes. And robes like that. So that Ananda knows that's happening. Buddha was offered, robes, and he doesn't want something to offer to the Buddha, him to use that. He thinks that's improper way to use Buddha's things. Also, he said, whenever you are asked, for the guests to eat, never take me with you. These are something bizarre, but there is a good reason why this. And there are eight things. But last one, he said, all the teachings you have given before me become your attendants, and in the future, you have to repeat to me if I am not there. Sorry?
What is the reason that he don't take the food for?
Okay, that is very, very important for the according to the Vinaya rule, monastic rule, according to the monastic rule, code of conduct, monastic rule. Something to offer to such as Buddha, the fully awakened being. Like, for example, traditionally, for example, I'll give you a very good example. In the monastery, the things offered to the monks and nuns, traditionally lay people don't eat those things. Because these are offered to the Sangha. You are not Sangha. In this case, the things offered to the Buddha, Ananda is not Buddha. And the things are offered with the devotion to the Buddha, not to the Ananda. Like something which not belongs to you, if you use, it's not right. Nagarjuna said very clearly in he wrote many nice texts. One of his texts, he said, he said, he prayed, may I never be born as in charge of the monastic, the monasteries, because he sees there's a risk. If you are born, if you work as in charge of the monasteries, and there's a great risk you may personally eat, drink something from belongs to the monasteries, and that is very, very not good conduct. Not good conduct. And Nagarjuna said, may I be never born as in charge of the monasteries. And this is a very interesting subject. A very interesting subject. Anyway, I'll not go there because otherwise we will not go there. It is more ethical reason. Yeah, ethical reason. Yeah, ethical reason. It is there's good reason why Ananda asked that. Anyway, now here, thus did I hear at one time, whether that I, in this case, whether that I belongs to the Ananda or not, we don't know. But most of the sutras, the common sutra, that thus did I hear, I refers to Ananda. Okay? So then it says the Bhagwan we already discussed, was dwelling on the mass of the virtuous mountain. So this is the identifying the place where the place is, where it is taught, and Rajgir, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. So the last part is identifying who were there when Buddha taught this sutra. And here it explains two communities, and this is interesting. It says the community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. In the sutras which belongs to the Theravadan tradition, you will not see the second part. You will not see the second part. They're saying a great community of bodhisattvas. Mainly it will say the community of monks. And some sutras even say the numbers, how many monks are there. For example, there is a sutra which comes twice a month, recite in the gathering, monks and nuns. The monks and nuns, twice a month, they have to confess their broken vows. It is called sojo. And there is a sutra is recited. Mainly the main part of the sutra is going through the lists of the vows that monks and nuns have to keep. But the background of the sutra, again similar to here, and there it says even the numbers, how many monks are there. Gelong Gyata Che. Gelong means the ordained monks. Gyata Che, that means Gyata Che the Juksum 153 months when he taught that sutra. Gelong Gyata Che the Juksum Gi Gelong Gi Gindu Chimbotan Tapchi to Shuso. They all are together when Buddha taught that sutra. Sometimes very precise. So, now here the great community of monks, that we know. The second part, the great community of bodhisattva. Now, this one needs a little bit discussion. Bodhisattva. What is bodhisattva? What is bodhisattva? Now, first of all, I want to talk to you briefly, this mythical side of the bodhisattva. Mythical side of the bodhisattva. Because that is important, because this kind of teaching, then slowly we will see transition towards the Vajrayana. This kind of teaching. And very, very interesting. This, what is his name? This great, I think he's Englishman, sadly. The Englishman, Cons, great scholar, Cons. And what he said, it is very interesting, is this. When he talked about the evolution, or how the Panchaparamita Sutras are gradually come into existence. And as I said, they are time frame, didn't I? Then he said this. He put this. Edward Cons distinguished 4 periods in the development of the Panchaparamita literatures. The first period, elaboration of the basic text, starting from the 100 BC to 100 Common Era AD. That's the elaboration, the sort of the Panchaparamita Sutra. Second period, the expansion of the text. First AD, or Common Era to 300 or third century. Then third period, he says this, a resettlement of the doctrine in short sutras, verses, summaries, and that is the 3rd century to 5th century. The fourth period of tantric influence. So that is this. Now, in Buddhism, of course, according to the Vajrayana teachings, these teachings are taught by Buddha. Not all the tantric teachings, but a group of the tantric teachings are taught by the Buddha. But again, as I said earlier, from the modern academic, people's eye, no. So that you have to put there some kind of when, the Buddhism, when Vajrayana came into, Buddhism, and that is around 3rd to 5th century. So Heartsutra come into being actually around that time, around 3rd to 5th century. Although scholars have debated when it's come exactly, but between that. So this is quite interesting. So now, to go back to our text, Bodhisattva. Now, Bodhisattva, in the mythical side of the Bodhisattva, like what we call 8 Bodhisattvas. 8 Bodhisattvas. Chandrasemba never said get 8 Bodhisattvas. In these 8 Bodhisattvas, most of the names are very common. You all know, particularly people who are following the Mahayana Buddhism. Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, Samadapatra, Vajrapani, Shitikapa, Champachen, Maitreya, Champachen is saying, now I can't remember. Anyway, those are the bodhisattvas. Because I remember in Tibetan, but I can't remember in Sanskrit. So the common which you know, Maitreya, Champa, you know the Maitreya, Avalokiteshvara, Charesic, Manjushri, Chambayam, Vajapani, Dorthin, anyway, it doesn't matter. And Sailimbo, what you call them, Gunsambo, Samadipatra, Shitakapa, Sailimbo. So there are 8 bodhisattvas. Very often, they come in the picture of the Mahayana teachings. Not necessarily Vajrayana teachings, but in the Mahayana teachings. But these are not like Ananda, like those Buddha's great followers. Not like human beings, you and me. They are not. But also they are not like the Vajrayana's deity. They are not. They are like a semi-human. They have only one face, 2 arms. Like very similar to the face are like that, like us. Not like in the Vajrayana teachings, 4 arms, 100 arms, 1,000 arms, so many heads. Not like that. Very exactly same as human. But they are not human. Yeah, that's very interesting. That's what I'm saying. The transition is there. So in the Mahayana teachings, these bodhisattvas, Manjushri, Samadipatra, Maitreya, these are not Buddha. They are bodhisattvas. They are not Buddha. When it comes, these names come to the Vajrayana, they are Buddha. Okay, so they just, it sounds very dry, academic, blah blah, but sometimes quite useful to know. If they say, now actually, what is bodhisattva? How can you qualify? How can you what is the demarcation? What is the demarcation saying such and such being is bodhisattva and such and such being is not bodhisattva? What is the line? Line is very clear. Very, very clear. Line is this. As soon as you have, or your mind, your present mind transforms into mind of enlightenment or mind of bodhicitta, that altruistic awakened mind. As soon as your mind transforms into that mind, you are bodhisattva. Whatever, whether you are Westerners, Easterners, black, white, have a long hair, not hair, whatever, man or woman, it doesn't matter. As soon as your mind, your present mind, through the meditation and training, transforms into this altruistic awakened mind. In Sanskrit it is called bodhicitta. That moment you become bodhisattva. That's very clear. You don't need to ask lamas to do the more, to check whether you are bodhisattvas or not. You don't need to do anything. You will know. You will know the moment your mind transforms into that. You are bodhisattva. But that doesn't mean your journey ends. Actually, it is the beginning of your journey. That's the beginning of your bodhisattva's journey. The moment your mind transforms into mind to bodhicitta, that is the beginning of your bodhisattva's journey. Okay? So, very important. This term, bodhisattva, is not used to, this term is not used to the Buddha. Although Buddhas, they have bodhicitta, but term is not, for them, term is not used. Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattva the term is used only to the people who their mind transforms from present mind into bodhicitta until they attain enlightenment. That period, the term is used and refers to those people as a bodhisattva. Now, bodhisattva, like it's saying vajra sattva, exactly the same. What it's saying is, in a bodhi, that awakened mind, sattva means being. In other words, saying the being whose mind is awakened. In this case, awakened is not fully awakened in the sense of to become, his or her mind is to become bodhicitta. That's called bodhisattva. In Tibetan, it's called changchuk semba. Changchuk means awakened or enlightened. Semba means the person who had that mind. Semba. Okay? Now the term, there's a term is used, isn't it? Saying a great community of bodhisattvas. Great. The term why they use great bodhisattvas. Great. There's some purpose here. Great, again, when people transform their minds into bodhicitta, into what's called altruistic awakened mind, that's, as I said earlier, process start. When that process starts, then there are many different levels we can go. Like when we are coming up, there are many different steps, to reach here. Like that, although the mind is transformed into bodhicitta, but still there are so many things to take further development. So in the Buddhist literature, in the minor literature, the development is this. Seven. I'll use that. I will not translate literally. I will use this. First 7 steps, which are called impure bodhisattva stages. First 7, and the last 3 steps or stages are called pure bodhisattva's stages. So there are 10 stages. So here this term great community, great refers to, in the listener, when Buddha taught, in the listener there are many bodhisattvas, not just bodhisattvas, but also bodhisattvas who are in the last 3 stages. The 3 stages which are called pure, 3 stages. Or technically it is called 3 grounds. Pure 3 grounds. But it doesn't matter. I like to use 3 stages. So that's why the term great community of bodhisattvas. And now we talk about bodhisattvas. Now the community, this term is quite useful. Community. Earlier it says community of monks and a community of bodhisattvas. The term community here refers to the purpose is, when Buddha taught the teachings, he taught like gather together. It's not like the individual person, John, Dave, Christina, like that. Not like that. He taught with a group, with a community. That's why to understand that, the term is used community, great community of monks and great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagwan was, now up to here, what we usually call common, what's called common in the sense of, as I said, all the sutras have that kind of statement at the beginning. Who heard that teaching, where he taught, who were there, and that's all the sutras. But this remaining 1.5 in English, 2 lines, where the line starts saying, at that time, the Bhagwan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perception. That 2 lines, then looking at the specific, what in other words, quite often technically explained, uncommon laws. Uncommon in the sense of that kind of things are not in the other sutras. That is an interesting one. Here, what it says is, at that time, the Buddha was, absorbed in the concentration. So, in other words, Buddha's mood is not teaching moods at that time. His mood is in a meditative mood. Or in other words, he was not saying anything. Verbally, he was saying nothing. What he was doing, meditating. That term here, it says, Bhagwan was absorbed in the concentration. So Buddha was meditating, absorption or the meditating. Meditating not any kind of things, not in the compassion, not in the love or like that, but his meditation is on the categories. There are many different categories, but in the categories of the phenomena called profound perception. So at that time, at that place, with a group of people, what Buddha was doing, he was meditating. And he was meditating on profound perception. And that 2 lines are, in other words, what's called a specific puloj, or the unique puloj, whatever you call it. So that is the background. So that's the background part of the part of the background of the sutra. Sutra. Okay. Now I can see you are starting to fall asleep. Now, question. Yeah. Yeah.
In the beginning, you mentioned that there are 3 seals in Theravada and 4 seals in Mahayana.
Oh yeah.
It's meant the 4th seal, Nirvana, is complete peace. Why it's?
Oh yeah. In the Theravada, they don't put that, but you will see in their teachings, but not as a in the category. When you categorize. In the Theravada teaching, they don't talk about as a 4 seals. They just say 3 seals. They don't talk the last one, Nirvana is peace. That is something Mahayana added. But of course, Nirvana is peace. That understanding is important in the Theravada teachings, but not systematically put as like that. The Mahayana put saying 4 seals. So that's the difference. Is it you had that question?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What is the meaning about the place, the Rajnagiri, in the peak of Mount Aventam, this birds are not so good English speak. What is the meaning of this
Okay.
place?
Okay, good. A Vulture's Mountain in Rajgir. Have you been to Rajgir?
Never.
No.
But
You
the
should.
birds coming there about what
Okay.
is meaning.
There are so many things. First, I want to encourage you to put in your head, sometimes I want to go to that place. That's the first thing, my suggestion. Really nice to go. Nice to, as a Buddhist, it will be, all the major religions, they do, to pilgrim, to go to see those places. And these places, like the Bodh Gaya, where Buddha attained enlightenment, Sarnath, where he taught his first teaching, Lumbini, where he was born, and the Kushinagara, where he passed away, and Rajgir. These are the places. There's no argument whether the Buddha was there or not. There's no argument. Everybody agreed he was there. And that is something very important as a follower of Buddha to go to visit those places. I wasn't paid any penny from the Indian government to take more tourists. although at the beginning of this year, the Indian government, they want to bring tourists in that part of the world, which is very poor part of the Indian, India, and they approached to Jamyang, the place where I'm acting as a resident teacher, and they asked us to send a representative to India to raise the and we sent some of them, and he said he was very nicely treated, and there was a conference and so on, mainly to attract the tourists. But I wasn't paid any penny, okay. But it is very, very special, very, very special. But again, the Buddhist understanding about the holy place is not holy place from the place its own side. Holy place because these great teachers like Buddha visited, not just visited like Rajgir, this kind of place. He spent many time, many days, many months, many years to give teachings. Okay, now that is something, just encouragement to you. Now I will give you the answer to your question. Now answer is this. This place is not very far from where he attained enlightenment. Bodh Gaya, this Rajgir, is not very far from there. It is just about 3.5 hours good bus driving. If local bus may take 8 hours, but if you go with your own bus, 3.5 hours trip journey, and there is a very, very dirty, ugly town, and that is the Rajgir. And that used to be a very, very beautiful, nice, small kingdom. And that king was one time Buddha's best friend, and he became king. The other man become Buddha. Then of course they continue their good friendship. So he invited Buddha to come to his kingdom to spend time. So then that is the small town. When it says Rajgir in the Herzsutra is explaining the town. And next to that town, there are not high mountains you have here, but relatively high hills, quite nice hilly. And in that range of hill, there's one particular hill. There are different explanations. I'm not good at looking at those explanations. Why it's called, your answer is, or your question is, why it's called Mass of a Virtuous Mountain. And one explanation is saying, in the mountain, during the morning and the evening, morning, those big birds, the vultures, big birds, morning, because evening they stay in the mountain range, and the morning they depart from there to the towns where they find something to eat. And the evening comes back to the mountains. So that's the one definite explanation why it's called mass, virtues, mountains. But another explanation is that mountain, it has a shape of virtues. So there are different explanations. That doesn't matter. I will not go that much anyway. But important is the place itself, us to visit. That is important. Really, I've been many times. And I took three times. The group of about 32 people from London to there, and it is very nice to go there to visit. And that's why, anyway, a virtuous mass or a virtuous mountain. Okay? Any other questions? Yeah.
I go back to the 4 seals, what you mentioned at the beginning.
Okay.
2 of these seals are very closely related to the 4 noble truths.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is seal number 2, which is noble truth number 1.
Yes.
And seal number 4, which is noble truth number 3.
Number 3?
Exactly. Is it the same?
Okay. It is same in the sense of, as a Buddhist practitioner, as a follower of Buddha, must learn, must understand, must realize. In that sense, yes, it is same. It is same. In the 4 seals, what you can see the entire, the Buddhist view of reality. View of reality of present, right here and now, impermanence, suffering, dukkha, and the view of reality of future, peace, nirvana. And the 3rd seal is the path to take us. Yeah? So, yes. Good matching, what you said. Yeah.
But you said seal number 3 is the path.
Realizing, or having the seal number 3, in other words, realizing the selflessness. That realization is the path, which us, free from the suffering to the peace, the 4th seal. Yeah. Any other questions? I've been expecting lots of questions. I thought, okay.
You mentioned Bodhisattva in Mahayana and Bodhisattva in Vajrayana. Could you explain the difference once more again?
Oh, okay. No. Okay, this is my fault. I didn't say that clearly. What I said is different is this. Bodhisattva, mythical side of the Bodhisattva, mythical, that Vajrapani, Manjushri, and this half human, half not human, that mythical side of the Bodhisattva. Without Vajrayana, just the Mahayana, and this is again not a very good explanation, because Vajrayana is Mahayana. Mm-hmm. Nobody say like that. Mm-hmm. So the Mahayana teachings, where there's no Vajrayana element, some Mahayana teachings are like that, or traditions are like that. There's no Vajrayana. So in those teachings, like Manjushri, Vajrapani, they are bodhisattvas. But in the Vajrayana, like Tibetan Buddhism, our Buddhist tradition is Mahayana Buddhist, but it's not just Mahayana, it has a Vajrayana element, as you know. Mm-hmm. So when these great beings, the mythical side of the bodhisattvas appear in the Mahayana teaching, when they appear in the Vajrayana, they are not bodhisattva. They are not bodhisattva, they are enlightened beings. Mm-hmm. And not just enlightened beings. For example, Avalokiteshvara, some Avalokiteshvara has 1,000 arms. 1,000, the 11 heads, 1,000 eyes, and so on and so forth. Not just like human beings, like you and me. Like Avalokiteshvara appears in the Mahayana Sutras, not the Vajrayana. In the Mahayana Sutras, very simple, like one face, 2 arms. So these are the differences.
Okay.
But in the Vajrayana, they also have a bodhisattva. That's no difference. But that bodhisattva is like, as I said, as long as you have bodhicitta, you are bodhisattva. In that sense, there's no difference. But the mythical side of the bodhisattvas, the 8 bodhisattvas, there are more than 8, but those 8 bodhisattvas, when they appear in the pure Mahayana, appear as a human, like similar to human, but they appear, when they appear in the Vajrayana, they appear like appear as a deity, not like a human. It's very interesting. A few years ago, I was in Sri Lanka. And the Sri Lanka Buddhist tradition, the first part of the Sri Lankan Buddhist tradition was Mahayana Buddhist, not the Theravada. Then the Mahayana was declined, then became Theravada. So in Sri Lanka, still you can see many old, sort of mainly carved in stone, like Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, and Tara also you will see, you will see that. So in the Manjushri, the Maitreya or the Avalokiteshvara, when they appear as a bodhisattva, not as an enlightened being in the Mahayana, they appear exactly like a human. Only difference is they have lots of those ornaments in here. This crowns. That's the only difference. So that's interesting. Anyway, yeah.
What is the difference between this? The Buddha was meditated.
Okay.
And it means Bodhisattva, Mahasattva recognized this praxis.
Okay.
What does mean recognize? It's not meditation, it is only thinking.
Which paragraph you are reading?
So at the same time, recognize the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara.
Are you reading the second paragraph?
Yes, no, it's the same time.
Okay.
It's the first line.
The first, what does mean with this recognize or looking?
Okay.
Is the special praxis or only?
Okay, it is this part is in English it says this. At that time, the Bhagwan was, is that one? The Bhagwan was observed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perception.
Next sentence.
Okay. Now.
What is the meaning this?
Okay, that I haven't discussed yet. Now you will come there. I'll come there. Yeah, I'll come there. Yeah. Any other things so far what I've said? Okay. Then I'll read a little bit further. And we'll see, if you have a question. Now I'll read the second paragraph. That this may answer to your question. Also, at that time, so also, what also? That also refers to this, back to the Buddha was in that form. Buddha was in a form of meditating, observed in the concentration, so-called, and the categories of phenomena called profound perception. Yeah, first we'll read that part, then I'll come back what does it mean profound perception, and I'll come back then. Now when it says also this word refers to Buddha was doing something, but same time there are two people doing some other things. That's why also the words come into being. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara. So Bodhisattva, now we already discussed, Mahasattva, and that is also I briefly explained. Mahasattva, do you remember? When you become Bodhisattva, when your mind transforms into bodhicitta, you become Bodhisattva. Then when you go through the process, when you finish the first 7 stages and reach at 8, which start with the pure 3 stages, from then on the Bodhisattvas are called Mahasattvas. Mahasattvas. In other words, great being. Maha is great. Sattva means being. Mahasattva means great being. Not just Bodhisattva, also Mahasattva. Mahasattva they have bodhicitta, but also they reach, process is reaching a very high stage from the 8th stage, then it's called Mahasattva, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva. Avalokiteshvara, and that is the name, Arya Avalokiteshvara. Arya is, as I said earlier, Avalokiteshvara. That is the Bodhisattva's name, and I already discussed that. Avalokiteshvara in this case is Bodhisattva, not the enlightened being. It is the Bodhisattva, not the enlightened being. Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perception of wisdom, and beheld. Now, looked upon is meaning of realize. You can see the realize. The looked upon in the sense of realize. At the same time, when Buddha was in that form of meditation, at the same time, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara is also realizing this profound, the perception. Profound is saying, looked upon means, the meditate on, you can say, meditate on the very practice in the sense of very refers to what Buddha was doing. What Buddha was doing, and actually Avalokiteshvara is also doing the same thing. Very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom. Profound perfection of wisdom. Now here I want to say this. Profound perfection of wisdom, and earlier it says profound perception. Profound perception in the previous end of the previous paragraph, and in here saying profound perfection of wisdom. Now, there's a little bit difference. If it is profound perfection of wisdom, it not necessarily. Now this is debating language. You need to pay attention. I'll repeat this. If it is profound perfection of wisdom, if it is profound perfection of wisdom, it not necessarily, the profound perception. Do you get it? The people who don't get it, can somebody say in German what I'm talking about? I'll repeat that. If the mind is profound perfection of wisdom, if mind is profound perfection of wisdom, it's not necessarily that mind is profound perception. Do you get it now? Yeah. Can you, the people who, can you repeat that? Can you, Andrea, can you say that? Do you get it? Did you get it?
Can you repeat once again? So there was perfection and perception, right?
Okay, these two. First, look at me. Look at me. Like this. There are two. Yeah, there are two. The first one is profound perfection of wisdom. That's the one. And there's another one, profound perception. Okay? If your mind, if your mind is profound perfection of wisdom, that your mind is not necessarily profound perception.
Perception is
Okay. Now come. What is profound perception? I want you to work a little bit. That's why I'm not saying to you to think. Okay?
Just one short question. Perception, can that also be said inside or is it different?
Yeah. Okay.
Inside.
Now I'll come there. Profound perception. The first is start here. Profound perception. Profound perception refers to, listen, profound perception refers to direct realization of emptiness. Direct realization of emptiness. Profound perception. When it's a perception, it is talking about direct. Now, here, profound perfection of wisdom is not necessarily direct realization of emptiness. Yeah? Did you get it? Now, bring from here to here. From here to here. If
Das heißt, wenn man eine tiefgründige Erkenntnis von Weisheit hat, heißt das nicht automatisch, dass man eine gute Wahrnehmung hat. Eine profunde Wahrnehmung nur mit der Erkenntnis der Wahrheit zusammenhängt.
Perception heißt direkte, unmittelbare Wahrnehmung. Und Perfection heißt, keine direkte, unmittelbare Wahrnehmung. Perception ist die Wahrnehmung.
Perception. When you say perception, it is direct. When you say perception, it is direct. Okay?
Eine nicht sinnliche, direkte Wahrnehmung.
Okay. Now take this to direct, profound perception, perfect wisdom. Is a profound perfect wisdom. Now, if your mind is profound perception, then it's definitely this one. Profound perfection of wisdom. It is like a saying like that. Now I'll repeat. If he or she is austere, he or she is definitely human beings. If he or she is human being, not necessarily Austrian. I'm not Austrian. I'm human being. It is like that. If it is profound perfection of wisdom, not necessarily profound perception, but if it is profound perception, it's definitely profound, the perfect wisdom.
It's still a relative and dualistic.
Okay, that's the point. Yeah.
This no more.
Okay. When you say the profound perception, there's no dualistic.
Yes.
When you say profound perception, there's no dualistic. That's why I use the term direct realization. Because when you start to use dualistic, then you have lots of problems. What is that dualistic? Is it banana? It is apple, and so on and so forth. It is much better to say direct.
Yes.
Perception, profound perception is direct realization. The conceptual realization is not direct realization. Perception realization, there are direct realization. And in that case, you can say in here, insight, direct insight. Sometimes the term is used, direct insight. Sorry, I caused big sort of mess. But to think. Okay. Now, What happening here is this. When Buddha taught his teachings, this is very interesting subject. You need to bear in mind. The sutra, do you remember this morning I said sutra means the teaching taught by Buddha. Now the teaching taught by Buddha not necessarily comes out from Buddha's mouth. There are three kinds of teachings. In the sutra, how it comes into as taught by Buddha, there are three. Three are this. That means sutra taught through the Buddha's mouth, like the what you call the Four Noble Truths, and so on and so forth, directly taught by Buddha his own mouth. Chingilabhika, that means this kind of concentration, that's sutra. Buddha's power of the Buddha's concentration make that happen. Buddha didn't talk, Buddha didn't say the words, but Buddha was in this profound perception meditation, and that profound perception of meditation, makes Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara to have this dialogue. Like, for example, the president, and the president has 5, 6, 10 ministers, cabinet minister, and they are sitting on the round table. President is in the middle, but president didn't say very much. He asked them to come for the meeting, but he didn't say very much the subject. He stayed very quietly and very seriously. And these cabinet ministers are talking each other how to run the government properly. That's the power of that president. He didn't say the subject, what to do. He just asked them to come for the round meeting at the table. Then his presence caused the cabinets to have the discussion. It is similar to that, of course more profound. Buddha was sitting there and on that particular posture, in that particular environment, and if you read more detail, arrangement was amazing, saying that there are so many rainbows, so many miracles are happening, so on and so forth. I don't know all those things, but Buddha was in that kind of meditation. And that power of meditation makes the Shariputra ask a question to the Avalokiteshvara. And the entire sutra comes out from the Avalokiteshvara's mouth. Not the Buddha's mouth, from the Avalokiteshvara's mouth. And that is the sutra. That group of, this is not only this, there are other sutras. That group of sutra is called Chingilabhika. Sutras comes from the blessings. Chingilabhika. And there's a third category of sutra called Jesunabhika. Again, Buddha didn't say anything. But out of the dialogue, the discussion, Buddha said, yes, that is right. What you're talking about is right. So then that discussion becomes sutra. Although Buddha didn't say anything, Buddha just agreed. So like that, there are that group of teachings. So therefore, this paragraph, the second paragraph, when it said, also at that time, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of profound perfection of wisdom. Profound perfection of wisdom, that is the one part, then there's another part, isn't it? And beheld that profound perfection of wisdom is beheld with a particular subject, with a particular context. And the particular context is here. Those 5 aggregates. That profound perfection of wisdom, that wisdom realizing emptiness, Avalokiteshvara's wisdom realizing emptiness is in a particular, with a particular context. The particular context is the 5 aggregates. So Avalokiteshvara is meditating or realizing, whatever term you use, realizing, meditating on emptiness of the 5 aggregates. That's what Bodhisattva, what he is doing, Avalokiteshvara is doing. 5 aggregates also empty of inherent nature. Now, empty of inherent nature we'll talk later, because that's the main subject. We need lots of discussion. But first look at that background. Okay, now it's 20 past 4. We'll take 15 minutes break to cool down our brain and to have a little bit of rest. Yeah. And also people who don't get it, that one, discuss with other people. They may have got it, and that way is good. You can learn from others.
May I ask one question?
Come back later.
Okay.
Not now. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just have 15 minutes.